The Benny Hill Show stands as one of the most recognizable comedy programs in television history, shaping a distinctive era of British humor that blended slapstick, parody, music, and visual gags into a fast-paced spectacle. Running in various forms from the mid-1950s until 1989, the show reached audiences far beyond the United Kingdom, becoming a global entertainment phenomenon. Its appeal lay in its accessibility. Sketches often relied on physical comedy and exaggerated situations rather than dialogue-heavy writing, allowing viewers from different cultures and languages to enjoy it equally. Benny Hill himself became the centerpiece of this style, performing multiple roles within each episode and shifting rapidly between characters with ease. His comedic persona, marked by playful mischief and exaggerated expressions, helped define the tone of the series. At its height, the show was broadcast in more than 100 countries, making it one of the most widely distributed British television exports of its time. Yet, even as it enjoyed enormous popularity, the seeds of controversy were quietly growing. What once felt like harmless entertainment to many began to be questioned as social attitudes evolved. Humor that had once been accepted as cheeky or provocative was increasingly scrutinized under changing cultural standards. Early life and family background. Alfred Hawthorne Hill, known professionally as Benny Hill, was born in Southampton, England, in 1924. His upbringing was shaped by a working-class environment and a family with varied influences that subtly pointed toward performance and entertainment. His grandfather had worked as a circus clown, introducing a generational link to comedy and stage performance, while his father pursued more practical work in the medical supply trade. This contrast between practicality and performance would later mirror Hill's own career path, which balanced structured writing with chaotic physical humor. As a child, Hill showed curiosity in music, timing, and mimicry, skills that would later become essential to his comedic identity. He attended local schools in Southampton, where he was not particularly distinguished academically, but demonstrated creativity and social adaptability. After leaving school, he worked in a range of jobs including retail, driving, and manual labor. These early experiences exposed him to different walks of life and gave him a broad understanding of everyday personalities, many of which would later be exaggerated in his sketches. Hill's early exposure to entertainment came through theatre and variety performances, which were popular forms of British stage comedy at the time. He was particularly inspired by music hall traditions, where comedians used physical humour, quick timing, and audience interaction. Military service and wartime entertainment corps. During the Second World War, Benny Hill was called up for military service, a period that would significantly influence his later career in entertainment. He joined the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, where he trained in technical maintenance and mechanical repair. This role required discipline, precision, and problem-solving skills, all of which contrasted sharply with the comedic chaos he would later create on screen. However, his time in the military was not limited to technical duties. Hill also served in roles such as driver and searchlight operator, contributing to wartime operations that supported defense efforts. These responsibilities placed him in active and demanding environments, including deployment during critical phases of the war in Europe. Despite the seriousness of his duties, Hill eventually found a path into military entertainment through the Combined Services Entertainment Division. This organization was responsible for boosting troop morale by organizing performances for soldiers stationed abroad. Within this setting, Hill began performing comedy sketches and participating in variety shows designed to provide relief from wartime stress. This experience proved crucial in shaping his comedic instincts. Performing for military audiences required quick adaptation, strong timing, and the ability to engage diverse groups under challenging conditions. It also allowed him to experiment with character work and physical comedy in front of live audiences. Post-war radio beginnings and first break after the war, Benny Hill transitioned into the entertainment industry with determination, but without immediate widespread recognition. His early career began in radio, which at the time was one of the most influential entertainment mediums in Britain. Radio allowed performers to reach large audiences without the visual element that television would later provide. Hill made one of his earliest significant appearances on a variety program in the late 1940s, where his comedic timing and vocal expression helped him stand out among other emerging performers. These early radio performances were important in establishing his reputation as a versatile entertainer capable of adapting to scripted sketches and live improvisation. However, success was not immediate or consistent. Some programs gained popularity, while others failed to make a lasting impression, reflecting the competitive and experimental nature of post-war broadcasting. Despite these challenges, Hill continued refining his comedic identity, focusing on character-based humor and situational absurdity. His ability to shift between voices and personalities became one of his defining strengths. During this period, he also began developing the foundations of what would later become his television persona, a performer who combined subtle satire with exaggerated physical gestures and expressive facial comedy. Transition to television and early success. The rise of television in the 1950s created new opportunities for performers, and Benny Hill quickly adapted to this changing landscape. His first television appearances demonstrated how effectively he could translate his radio experience into visual comedy. Unlike radio, television allowed him to use physical movement, facial expressions, and visual storytelling as central comedic tools. This shift was transformative for his career, as it revealed his strength in slapstick humor and silent visual gags. Early television work included appearances in various comedy programs where he experimented with sketch formats and character-driven humor. Audiences responded positively to his energetic style, which stood out in a medium still developing its identity. His ability to switch between characters within a single episode became a hallmark of his early TV presence. As his popularity grew, he was given opportunities to headline his own programs, marking a significant step forward in his career. These early shows established the foundation for what would eventually become The Benny Hill Show, combining musical interludes, comedic sketches, and recurring characters. The format was influenced by traditional British variety entertainment, but adapted for television audiences. Hill's creative control increased during this period, allowing him to shape the tone and structure of his programs more directly. Development of the Benny Hill Show format. As Benny Hill's television career evolved, the structure of his show became increasingly distinctive and recognizable. The program developed into a variety-style format that blended comedy sketches, musical performances, and visual gags into a continuous flow. This structure was heavily influenced by traditional music hall entertainment, which emphasized variety and rapid changes in tone and performance style. Hill's show often avoided long narrative arcs, instead focusing on short, self-contained sketches that allowed for quick comedic impact. One of the defining features was the use of recurring motifs, particularly chase sequences and exaggerated physical comedy routines. These segments became iconic, often serving as the closing moments of episodes and leaving audiences with a memorable final impression. The show also incorporated musical elements, with Hill and supporting performers engaging in playful song and dance routines that added rhythm and variety to the program. Behind the scenes, writing played a crucial role in maintaining the show's pace and consistency. Hill worked with a team of writers but also contributed significantly to the material himself, shaping jokes and visual ideas. The show's flexibility allowed for experimentation with different comedic styles, from satire to parody and slapstick. Over time, the format became more refined, with tighter editing and more elaborate production techniques, ensemble cast and writing style. A major factor in the success of The Benny Hill Show was its ensemble cast, which brought a wide range of comedic talents to the screen. Rather than relying solely on Hill as the central performer, the show featured recurring actors who played a variety of supporting roles. These performers contributed significantly to the diversity and energy of the sketches, often portraying exaggerated versions of everyday characters such as authority figures, bystanders, or comedic antagonists. The chemistry between Hill and his supporting cast helped create a dynamic and unpredictable viewing experience. The writing style of the show was equally important in shaping its identity. Sketches were typically built around simple premises that escalated quickly into chaotic situations. Dialogue was often minimal, with physical comedy carrying much of the humor. This approach made the show accessible to international audiences, as visual storytelling transcended language barriers. Writers and performers collaborated closely, refining sketches through rehearsal and improvisation. Hill himself was heavily involved in shaping material, often adjusting timing and visual structure to maximize comedic effect. Expansion into international fame. As The Benny Hill Show developed its identity, it began to achieve remarkable international success. The program's reliance on visual humor made it especially suitable for global audiences, as it required little translation or cultural adaptation. By the late 1960s and 1970s, the show was being broadcast in numerous countries, gaining popularity across Europe, North America, and beyond. This international reach elevated Benny Hill from a national television comedian to a global entertainment figure. His style of comedy, which blended slapstick, parody, and musical interludes, resonated with a broad spectrum of viewers. The show's production quality also improved over time, with more elaborate sets, costumes, and filming techniques contributing to its polished appearance. As its audience expanded, the program became a significant export of British television culture. Hill's performances were central to this success, as his expressive physical comedy transcended linguistic boundaries. However, international fame also brought increased scrutiny. Different cultural contexts interpreted the show's humor in varying ways, and what was seen as harmless fun in one region could be viewed differently in another. Despite this, the program maintained strong ratings in many markets for years. Comedy style, slapstick, and chase sequences. The comedic style of The Benny Hill Show was defined by physical humor, exaggerated expressions, and carefully timed visual gags. Slapstick comedy formed the backbone of the program, drawing inspiration from silent film traditions and early-stage performances. Benny Hill's ability to perform rapid character changes and physical movements made him particularly suited to this style. One of the most famous elements of the show was the chase sequence, which typically concluded episodes. These sequences featured fast-paced movement, comedic misunderstandings, and a rotating cast of characters running through various environments. The humor was enhanced through technical filming techniques, including accelerated playback, which made the action appear more chaotic and exaggerated than in real time. Music also played a crucial role, with upbeat instrumental themes adding energy and rhythm to the scenes. The chase sequences often included recurring archetypes, such as authority figures, comedic bystanders, and stylized characters, all interacting in absurd scenarios. These segments became iconic, representing the show's most recognizable contribution to television comedy. Beyond the chases, the program frequently used parody and visual exaggeration to mock social norms, popular culture, and everyday situations. Changing cultural attitudes and criticism. As the decades progressed, societal attitudes toward comedy began to shift significantly, affecting how programs like The Benny Hill Show were perceived. What had once been considered playful and irreverent humor increasingly came under scrutiny as audiences and critics reassessed media representation and gender dynamics. The show's reliance on visual gags involving suggestive themes and exaggerated portrayals of women became a central point of criticism. While many viewers continued to enjoy the program's slapstick style, others argued that its humor reflected outdated social norms. Television itself was also evolving, with new forms of comedy emerging that emphasized dialogue, satire, and character depth, rather than purely physical humor. This changing landscape placed the show in an increasingly difficult position. Critics began to describe its style as repetitive or out of step with modern sensibilities, even as it remained popular in certain markets. The tension between audience enjoyment and critical reception grew more pronounced over time. Discussions around media representation became more prominent in public discourse, influencing how older programs were evaluated. Controversy decline and cancellation. By the late 1980s, The Benny Hill Show faced declining viewership and increasing criticism. Although it remained popular in some international markets, its presence on British television was becoming less prominent. Changing tastes in comedy played a significant role in this shift, as audiences gravitated toward